WSU students have 3 minutes with a scholarship on the line. How students are preparing.
And it's almost census time, when you can expect to receive your invitations. Murrow News 8 starts now.
The Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University. This is Murrow News 8.
Good evening, I'm Luke Hudson.
And I'm Jane McDonald. Welcome to Murrow News 8.
Sunnyside Elementary won an award for an art project at the WSU Art for Change competition. The project, titled Dreams, received the Community Outreach Award. The display is up at Sunnyside Elementary and is made from hula hoops and clouds decorated by students.
Census invitations will be sent out next month in March. According to Pullman-Moscow Daily News, starting the week of March 12th, 95% of households across America will receive an invitation to respond online to the 2020 census. This will include information about how to fill out the census online. People will receive a reminder the following week and at the end of March. If they have not responded by April, residents will receive a paper questionnaire.
If you're in the Spokane area, get your popcorn and get ready for a week of never-before-seen films. Yes, the Spokane Film Festival starts tonight. This will include short films, documentary, and feature pieces from nearly 20 countries. Tonight kicks off at 7 p.m. with Quiet Explosions, following Super Bowl MVP Mark Rypien and the impact on the brain.
Students prepare to showcase their research and possibly win a scholarship towards the upcoming year. Joining us live from the Voiland College of Engineering and Architecture, Justin Spinney has more. Justin?
Hi, thanks Jane. It's a beautiful day out here in Pullman, but I'm not here to talk about today. I'm here to preview a big event that's coming up next Thursday at the Voiland College of Engineering and Architecture, which is right behind me here. Students have the opportunity to compete in a 3-minute thesis competition. Now, this competition does have some stakes. There is money on the line. First place is going to receive a $1,500 scholarship. Second place will receive $1,000, and third place will receive $500. The topic the students are doing research on is making electricity more consumer friendly, so it should be a good time. Go ahead and come on down here next Thursday if you want to see this. It's competition. It's always fun, right? Thanks, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Justin. A bill requiring comprehensive sex education in all Washington public schools cleared the State House Education Committee with a vote of 9 to 8 today. According to Como News, the bill was approved by the Senate several times, but has never been brought to a vote in the House. Planned Parenthood member Courtney Normand said that in a statement that we were unable to clear the hurdle last year, so this is the farthest this bill has come in a significant step in the process for Washington State schools to offer this important curriculum. The bill already passed in the Senate 28 to 21. The Idaho House has taken a stand on transgender issues, passing a bill to prohibit transgender people from changing gender marks on their birth certificates. The Idaho Statesman reports that Representative Julian Young defended the bill by saying that vital statistics must be based on, quote, biological definitions of sex for accurate medical treatment, services, and policies.
Washington begins testing samples for the COVID-19 coronavirus today. According to the Bellingham Herald, the Washington State Department of Health will begin testing instead of sending samples to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta, Florida. CDC testing takes up to 7 days for results to return.
2020 is a leap year, and that means February 29th is making a comeback. Big question everyone has is, what is a leap year and what's the purpose? Well, let's break it down. Our calendar is 365 days a year because that's how long it takes the Earth to orbit the sun. But in reality, it's not true. It actually takes 365.24, or roughly 365 and a quarter, to circle the sun, which makes our calendar off track. In 45 BC, Julius Caesar began the Julian calendar, where every 4 years an extra day was added to make up for that quarter we were missing. But in fact, that does not add up to 365 and a quarter. It is not the same as 365.24. Pope Gregory XIII created the Gregorian calendar and named it the leap year, while establishing that the 29th of February will be the official date to add that leap year. He also added the rule that a leap year will only occur every year that is divisible by 4 and only in century years that are evenly divided by 400.
And speaking of leap year, tomorrow some people will get to celebrate their birthday, at least on the calendar, for the first time in 4 years. Murrow News 8's Bailey Quint talked to one leap day baby here on campus.
Caitlyn starts each day the same. She wakes up, goes to school, does her work, and repeats. Seems normal, right? Well, what if I told you Caitlyn is only 5 years old? Caitlyn Towery, a sophomore studying athletic training at WSU, has a unique birthday. Her actual birthday is on the 29th of February. If this date sounds a little off to you, it's because the 29th only comes around every 4 years during a leap year. So, what is leap year and why does it exist? According to the History Channel, the added day every 4 years ensures that the Earth's movement around the sun aligns. While Caitlyn only gets a real birthday every 4 years, she's actually turning 20 years old. People who have a leap day birthday celebrate in all different types of ways. When it's not leap year, Caitlyn likes to celebrate her birthday on the 28th of February.
People ask me when I celebrate it. It totally depends on what's going on. People argue with me all the time about, oh, my birthday's in February, but it's the day after the 28th, so you should celebrate it the 1st. But I think my birthday's in February, so I'm going to celebrate it the 28th.
The odds of Caitlyn being born on this day are a 1 in 1,461 chance. With odds like this, it was sometimes hard for Caitlyn to feel normal about it growing up.
Well, my parents did a really good job too of I celebrated it every year. It didn't matter what day it was.
Like most people, I get to celebrate my birthday every single year. In Caitlyn's case, she only gets to celebrate her actual birthday every 4 years on the 29th of February. So what is she doing on her special day this year?
For my birthday this year, I'm going home. Since it's actually on the calendar this year, my parents are going to take me out to dinner.
While Caitlyn and the rest of us get to enjoy a 366-day year, we won't see the next one until 2024. Bailey Quint, Murrow News 8.
Coming up, find out why Gonzaga students studying abroad have to return home early.
And a mix of winter and spring in our weekend forecast. When will be the best chance for you to enjoy the outdoors? Next in our forecast.
They took over my bedroom. Come on, come on. Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. Dad! You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
There. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy. What do you call a pig that knows karate? Pork chop. Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Can I tell you another one? So how does a tissue dance? Put a little boogie on it. What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana. What is a boxer's favorite drink? Fruit punch.
After Gonzaga canceled classes abroad, the Bulldogs are now calling their students back home. Cairo 7 in Seattle reports that Gonzaga has suspended all courses in Florence, Italy, and is telling students to return to the U.S. The programs in Florence have been canceled indefinitely for Gonzaga students.
An update from last night's story about Bothell High employee that is experiencing coronavirus symptoms. The school has been canceled today. Originally, classes were to be in session, but after much consideration, Superintendent Michelle Reed consulted with Public Health, Seattle, and King County to close the school for the remainder of the week. The employee has been tested, and we are still waiting for those results.
People aren't the only victims of COVID-19. The U.S. stock market fell dramatically today, and according to the Associated Press, it's on track for the worst week since October 2008. COVID-19 outbreaks shut down factories, schools, and canceled flights all over the world. According to AP, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 650 points, or 2.5%, as of 11 a.m. The S&P 500 also fell 2.1%. In other words, the economy is hurting because many industries can't operate the same way during this outbreak. Chief Investment Officer at Cetera Financial Group, Gene Goldman, told the Associated Press, quote, "All this says to us is that there are a lot of worries in the market. We need the Fed to come out and say, basically, guys, we got your back," unquote. According to AP, some traders feel confident that the Federal Reserve will be forced to cut interest rates to safeguard the economy.
According to Fox News, a British man who was infected by the coronavirus while on board the Diamond Princess cruise ship has died. The man had been quarantined in Japan after testing positive for the virus. He is the first foreign passenger on a ship to die from this illness. Over 700 other passengers and crew members who are on board were infected with COVID-19. As of Thursday, all passengers who had been quarantined on the ship were allowed to disembark, while less than 500 crew members remained on board.
Now we go to Kirsten for a look at our chance of rain for tonight and the weekend. Kirsten?
Thanks, guys. So today we're looking at a high of 58 and a low of 34. Winds today will reach around 10 miles per hour, and actually the average today is around 45, so we're looking at a warmer day. What's interesting is it won't continue that way. Tonight we're going to have a chance of rain and snow starting around 10 p.m. and it'll move all the way until 4 a.m. Now looking at tomorrow, we'll have a high of around 44 and a low of 27. And winds tomorrow will reach around 20 miles per hour, and throughout the night until midnight it could reach up to 30 miles per hour. There's also a chance of rain and snow tomorrow, beginning in the morning, having a break during the day, and beginning again at night. Looking at the map, we can see that Seattle and Olympia will be a rainy kind of day, 50s and 51. And moving to Yakima, you'll see the sun is around 52, and for Tri-Cities it'll be 65. So we're experiencing some more sun in central Washington, unlike the rain in the west side and then rain in the east side too. Pullman and Spokane are a little bit different. Spokane will have some sun and be around 60 degrees today, while Pullman will be 58, cloudy, and again we have that chance of rain and showers. Now moving into the 5-day forecast, you can see that there will be sunny skies today with mild temperatures, but the arrival of a frontal system tonight will push down those temperatures this weekend. Now, for those of you wondering, a frontal system is due to a clash of opposing warm and cold air masses. This cold front is an air mass transition, and it'll bring potential rain and snow. So you can see that rain and snow will be around Friday, Saturday. We'll have that break on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday the rain will come back again. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Kirsten. Coming back, women's basketball has a big weekend ahead of them. Find out why.
And Grace takes a look at the combine and a few familiar faces.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you and we'll figure it out."
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
This weekend, women's basketball is taking a road trip to Oregon. Tonight, the Cougars face the #3 University of Oregon Ducks at 8 p.m. at Matthew Knight Arena and live on Pac-12 networks. The Cougars come into the game without a win against the Ducks since 2017. Currently 11th in Pac-12 standings, the Cougars are 0-12 against ranked teams this season. They played a record number of ranked teams because Oregon, Stanford, UCLA, Arizona State, Oregon State are all ranked in the top 25 at the moment. At a press conference yesterday, head coach Cammie Etheridge said this would be the Cougars' hardest road trip of the season.
Obviously a really hard road trip to finish the season. You go into Oregon and they're playing probably the best basketball of anyone in the country. Clearly the emotions that Sabrina went through and their team that clinched this past Monday, at least a share of the title. You know, you just see a team that's, the chemistry is unbelievable. Obviously, they're playing so well. Leadership is phenomenal. You know, Kelly's done an unbelievable job there. So, really hard environment. You know, they're going to get to watch that group. You know, it's really not.
Part 2 of the men's basketball Apple Cup Series starts tonight at 6 p.m. at the HEC Edmonton Pavilion in Seattle. The Cougars won in the matchup earlier this season and look to make the Apple Cup Series sweep for the first time since the 2016-2017 season. In that game, sophomore CJ Ellaby scored a career high with 34 points. However, Ellaby told the Daily Evergreen, quote, "My focus isn't about beating my career best. My focus is on getting the win and doing whatever I got to do to help my team," end quote. A big question for the game has been whether or not junior guard Isaac Bonton will return tonight. Against the Huskies, Bonton scored 12 points before missing the last 3 games due to a hip injury. Kyle Smith spoke about it in a press conference yesterday. Field will also be in Seattle this weekend to compete at the Indoor MPSF Championships. The meet is the conference indoor championship for the Pac-12. Fun fact, one of 2 national championship titles that WSU has won in the past was the men's indoor NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championships in 1977. However, today, sophomore Charisma Taylor will look to continue her impressive season in the triple jump. To break her own school record again, she will begin her event tomorrow at noon. The first event today is women's hammer throw starting at noon, and the meet will continue through tomorrow. If you've been paying attention to the NFL Combine, you will know that WSU wide receiver Desmond Patman and quarterback Anthony Gordon are there trying to earn a spot in the NFL. Yesterday, Patman benched 15 reps at the Combine and ran a 4.4940. Gordon has been just as impressive with a high passing completion percentage and a high accuracy rating. WSU baseball players will play Rutgers today at 11 and will play them 2 more times this weekend to finish out the series. Head coach Brian Green spoke about the team's focus for the series at a press conference on Wednesday. Let's take a look.
So it'll be Rutgers, great opponent. We'll play the stadium on the first day. We'll play under the lights game 2, and then we'll have an early one on Sunday. But 2 evenly matched teams, 2 teams that are getting their programs off the mat and come from great conferences. So it should be a really good opportunity for both of us, and I'm excited about it.
When Murrow News 8 returns, we'll take a look at how Bernie Sanders is doing in California.
And concert cancellations begin. Find out which band is canceling their shows when we come back.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help.
And slowly, you learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Days, months,
Hey, I'm Jim from across the street.
years,
I'd like to give you this.
a lifetime can rush by without realizing what we're missing. We lose some of the best moments, some that may never repeat,
Come on.
or detach from people around us. Our loved ones grow used to this pattern, but it doesn't have to be that way. We have a choice to take action. It's never too late to live a full life again. Hear how many of us Vietnam veterans have managed our mental health and reconnected with our families. Visit maketheconnection.net to find out more.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Senator and presidential candidate Bernie Sanders leads the polls in California in the California primary, almost 2-1 over the next candidate, Senator Elizabeth Warren. According to the Los Angeles Times, other candidates did a lot of their campaigning in the other remaining 14 states that vote as a part of the Super Tuesday contests. Sanders has about 34% in the poll, and winning California with this margin would give him more than 10% of the delegates needed to win the Democratic nomination.
The Milwaukee shooting that happened yesterday is still undergoing investigation. The victims' names have been released this morning as Dale Hudson, Jesus Val, Gennady Levshitz, Trevor Wetzeler, and Dana Walk. According to police company CEO Gavin Hatterselly said, quote, they were powerhouse operators, they were machinists, and they were electricians. But more importantly, they were husbands, they were fathers, and they were friends, end quote. According to CNN, the shooter has been identified as Anthony Farrell, the electrician at the company for over a decade. He was found dead of a self-inflicted gun wound.
K-pop superstars BTS has canceled their April shows in Seoul, South Korea, out of fear of the coronavirus. ABC News reports that the outbreak in South Korea would make it impossible to predict the size of the outbreak this far in advance.
Though the sun can brighten people's days, the same cannot be said for everyone. Murrow News 8 reporter Cameron Limes takes a look at seasonal depression.
Snow starts to melt away, and the feeling of spring with the promise of warmer weather begins to sprout in Pullman, Washington. Many students who felt the weight of seasonal affective disorder have an extra spring in their step. This is the case for quite a few students, but not everyone can share the same relief. Bailey Cornett and Kaylee Mangold do not have it so easy. People who suffer from mental illness have their own battles to face on a daily basis, regardless of the nice weather.
Me specifically, I've had help from PTSD, depression, and anxiety counselors and therapists.
This is not uncommon in college students. 1 in 5 adults living in the United States suffer from some form of mental illness, and according to NAMI.org, only 43% of adults receive treatment for their mental health. In 2018, WSU conducted a survey which showed that 86% of students here on campus felt overwhelmed. That is over 21,000 people, which is twice the capacity of Beasley Coliseum. This is where student mental health services come in. The center is located on the 3rd floor of the Washington building and aims to help students with their mental illness. This comes with only one problem. The staff may have a hard time keeping up with all the students.
Themselves, like, they're good for what they provide, but it's just so clear that they're overwhelmed by the amount of students that they have, and they don't have enough staff or resources to help all of those students.
Coug Health Services also offer walk-in hours, but these are often busy.
Go up and do the same day mental health or whatever, set up an appointment. There's a very long wait process.
But it is possible to get help. Mangold said she had to make sure to be on top of signing up before the date was even available.
To be on top of it the second the semester begins, and at the beginning of the school year in the summer, before school even started, right when they started their fall hours, I went in because I knew that if I didn't go in right away, I wouldn't have been able to see anybody.
If students can get a session booked through referral and have a positive match with their counselor, the sessions can be successful.
Do it. Even though it might take a while, it's worth it to try, for sure.
With Murrow News 8, this is Cameron Limes.
When we come back, a Chicago museum opens up a new virtual reality exhibit. Find out what it is.
And which beer is making headlines when Murrow News 8 returns.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
We all have people from history we'd love to meet or listen to. Well, that wish may come true. The Chicago Deuceable Museum of African American History is opening a new exhibit today called The March. This will be a one-of-a-kind virtual reality experience, taking guests from Chicago to the streets of Washington, D.C., listening to Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous "I Have a Dream" speech.
The coronavirus is in the back of most people's minds, but one company has actually taken a toll after the pandemic broke. Corona beer is experiencing some low sales because of the similarities of the name. USA Today reported that a survey found that 38% of American beer drinkers will not buy Corona. 16% were confused if Corona beer was related to the coronavirus. And to top it off, 14% of people who do drink Corona will no longer drink it in public. This just goes to show how one name can have a chain reaction all the way down to a beer company.
Thank you for watching tonight. Be sure to watch our newscasts at nwpb.org/mn8 and on Cable 8 at 7 and 10.
And don't forget, you can also follow Murrow News 8 on Facebook and Twitter.
Have a good night and goodbye.